In this lesson, we're going to be creating the end of level trigger. So when you reach this point at the end of the level, it's going to be like, okay, you completed the level, now we're going to go on to the next one. So to do this, I'm going to go ahead and set up where we want the level to end. So I need to go into my standard assets, 2D package, prefabs, and let's just bring up this platform 08, maybe up to like right about there. That's where we're going to have it. And we're going to make this little pink crate, this crate pink, the thing we have to reach. So that's our goal. Our goal is to reach this little pink crate. So I'm going to add a new Box Collider 2D onto this. So I've already searched for box, and there's Box Collider 2D. Cool. I want this to be a trigger, so I'm going to click right here on the ES trigger to check that. And I'm going to edit the sizes. Now, one cool thing I can do is I can click on this thing that says Edit Collider, this little box right next to that, and then these handles will come up. If I zoom in and make it a little easier to do this, I can click on one of these handles and then drag out to actually modify the shape of this collider. So it's going to do like maybe that much, and then on the other side, maybe that much. You can also adjust it down here, but I'm just doing this to show you how you can do it this way as well. So that's the trigger we have to enter in order for the level to be like, okay, yep, you did it. Time to move on to the next one. So cool, we got that. And I'm just going to move it down a little bit. Let's see if we can grab it. Okay. So cool, that's our trigger. Now we actually have to set up the scripts that's going to check for the trigger, for our character going into the trigger, and then transition the level. So I'm going to go into scripts. I'm going to right click, create new C# script, and we're going to call this end game trigger. Okay, let's open that up. And I'm going to paste this in here. So this is an on trigger enter 2D. I believe we saw this earlier, and it's basically it's sort of like the on collision enter, only it works with triggers. So since we set that box collider to be a trigger, it's going to be activated. This is going to be activated whenever something goes into that trigger. So we need to make sure we put this onto the object with the trigger. Now what we're going to do is we're going to check to see if and we're passing in the collider 2D as a other. That's the name of the variable. So other, and then I think we can just access tags straight from that. So dot tag. So save us a little more time versus going dot game object dot tag. I think we can just do dot tag, and then equivalent to, and we're gonna see if it's equivalent to player because that's the tag that's on our player. Cool. So with that, what we're gonna do is we're going to say application dot load level. We're trying to load the next level now. If I can spell level, okay, load level. And then the way we're naming these levels, they're going to be like level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, so on and so forth. So I'm going to say level and then plus level num, which is a variable we're about to make. Just close that off there. So let's go ahead and make level num. So it's going to be a public int, so we can assign it in the inspector. Public int called, of course, level num. There, so now that won't give us an error. Okay, cool. So with that in place, just go ahead and compile that. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the end game trigger onto our crate. Okay, so now it's on here. Let's go down to it. And let's go ahead and change our level number to be, we're going to load level 2, so I'm putting in 2 here. Cool, so we have that now. We don't have that level yet though, so let's go ahead, go File, New Scene. Yes, I do want to save this one, thank you. And let's go ahead and save this new one we just made. So save scene as, and we're going to save it as level 2. And save, okay. Now, one thing we want to do is, before we play this, there's a few things we need to do. Let's go ahead and assign our end game trigger to our crate pink, just like that. And oops, I already did that, my bad. I I meant to say, let's go ahead and, oh, it's still on there. Let's go ahead and just get rid of that. So I can remove a component if I click on the little gear and I say remove component. No, actually what I want to do is I want to go File and go to the build settings. I'm going to go ahead and add this scene to the build. So add current, and let's go ahead and add the other scene. And I believe you need to do this in order to actually be able to load that other scene. So now you can load the current scene back again, but if you want to load a different scene, I think you have to have that added to the build settings. So make sure you do that. Okay, so let's go back to level 1. And I'm going to go ahead and test it out, see what happens. So going over here, jumping over that, jumping on that, waiting for that to come down. Like we could probably just jump on it now and then jump over here. There we go. Now we've loaded into the next level. And just as a bit of cleanup, let's go ahead and make a scenes folder. So create a new folder. I'm going to call it scenes. And we're going to put these scenes into it. Just make sure you keep things organized. And I'm also going to make a folder for prefabs because I've modified our character prefab a lot, and I kind of want it to be just like a new prefab. So prefabs. So I'm going to go ahead and just open this folder up, and I can create a prefab without having to go right-click, create, and prefab. I can do another way. I can just drag and drop this. Well, I don't want that one. I want something else. Okay, go away. Yeah, I can drag and drop our character robot boy. Not renaming it. Drag and drop it down in here, and see we've made a new prefab. So that's cool. So and this is already linked to that. Now we also want to make the buzzsaw a prefab, so drag and drop that in here, and our crate pink with the trigger on it into a prefab. And actually one more thing, we want to make, I believe it's, yeah, this is our moving platform. Let's make that a prefab, because we can reuse that in our next level. So we have that all set up, so we can use these pretty easily in our next level now. So that's cool. And I believe that is it for this. I'll see you in the next lesson.